Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat, and welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all today. I missed y'all last week, but I had a really good time at the conference I went to. Had some really good content to get out of it, and so had a really good time. Met some really great people. But before we dive into our game today, I want to first take a moment to thank Jackie McMuffintop for following the channel. Welcome, Jackie. Hope you have a good time here. So last time we were doing some KOTOR. We're going to keep doing that. I don't really remember what we were doing, despite the fact that it was just a week ago. So let's check the journal. Yeah, Basil has been captured. Elders have offered to get you inside the Temple of Ancients if you rescue one of their tribe. Right, we need to go find the other camp, which was not on the South Beach, so it's probably on the Central Beach. I'm hoping we might actually be able to finish this game today. So we'll see how close we get. Yeah, so there's still plenty more beach around here. Oh, look. Warriors. I wonder if they'll be friendly. Nope. They woke up and chose violence. Hey, Brigger. Some Mandalorians on this planet, I don't remember how important they are. I mean, we've managed to avoid Mandalorians pretty well this game. This playthrough in general. They seem to be fairly, side content heavy, but we'll see. So, also good to see you, Brayherd. Hope you had a good weekend. North Beach. This looks promising. Oh, they've got the Rancors working with them. We have seen you, interloper. You are the servant of the elders. By order of the One, you must die. Did the EU explanation for Star Wars shotguns make it into the new canon? I forget. I have no idea. I'm not really aware of a lot of the Star Wars canon stuff and what is and isn't. You guys attacked first. Okay, parry buckshot. I mean, fair enough. Okay, I wanted to come here and be diplomatic, but we'll see how that goes. Yunar, please say that I had a good weekend as... Hey, congratulations! Congratulations on officially becoming Orthodox. That is wonderful and beautiful. Okay, I wanted to use this for implants, because there's a high-level implant I wanted to give. It's all... Shock. Oh, it's a dark side power. This seems like it could be useful. So was yesterday your celebration of Pentecost, Bray heard? Ah. Is that normal in the Orthodox Church to do rites of initiation of adults on Pentecost? Because in the Latin world, we do it on Easter Vigil. Although I think there's an argument to be made that you should baptize people on Easter Vigil, but if they're already baptized Christian and coming into the church, you should do it another day, like Pentecost, where we have actually an extended vigil that almost never gets used, but is quite beautiful.
For the Republic!
I'm stuck.
That is what a shepherd did.
Okay, as soon as one of these Rakata doesn't attack me, I think that's the hostage we're looking for. These guys are very well stocked. So, this excuse me. This blocks nerve or mind affecting. This blocks mind affecting and poison, which is what I wanted. The level 3/4. So, any feast day where as many as have been baptized is sung is a traditional day for people to be received. Me and one other yesterday. There have been a few people at various points over the past couple months, including Holy Saturday before the big night. Oh. Beautiful. That is a both a beautiful rule, like norm, I guess, for lack of a better word, of how to do it, and also I feel an incredibly orthodox answer where it's like, if this particular hymn is sung, and I do appreciate Orthodox hymnography and how it's laid out. So that's not meant to be a dig in any way, shape, or form. It's more just, yeah, no, that tracks. Honestly, this Force Wave is a really good ability we picked up. Like, it's made a lot of the fights pretty trivial. It is ridiculously good. Hello. Are you the leader of the one? I would like to negotiate with you. The Black Rakata shall never fall to you. What's Obi-Wan's mind? So much for negotiations. Hey, Mrs. Oak Mind. Good to see you. Yep, we're on the Rakata planet. The planet of cheese. Congrats on the new job, by the way. That's awesome. That is fantastic. I hope it's a great position. Excuse me, nerds. I was busy doing a thing. It also does not use a ton of force power, I've noticed. I have a phone call in about an hour with my new supervisor. Hey, very nice. Are you comfortable sharing what kind of work it's going to be? If not, I totally understand and respect that. Oh, look, plot parts. That would have been easy to miss. Strength gauntlets, let's get... This kind of feels like they're just throwing everything at you at the very end to be like, in case you didn't get this earlier. Back in the museum field again. Local Revolutionary War Museum. Ooh! As a son of the American Revolution, I should stop by. When playthrough, you found a second pocket ceremonial plate. Yes, this is an ancient and wholly revered item of our culture. Hey, look, a second one on an alien planet. Oh, hey, Elder Warrior. Roan. I was sent by the council to save you. I don't know what I could have done if you had not come. I suppose I would be dead, like the others right here. Thank you for saving me. I shall attempt to return to my enclave on my own. I will tell the council what you have done. Raynham Hall Museum on Long Island. Okay, I'll have to check that out. It was kind of funny, when I was working on my application to the Sons of the American Revolution, based on the genealogy I had done, you know, I was born and raised in Utah, and obviously both my parents had been transplants to there, having been born somewhere else. But what I found funny is doing all the research in New York and finding out that my ancestors were in the New York militias, fairly close, to the point that I could actually, and I have, gone to go visit the graves of one of them, in the Poughkeepsie area. Oh, I didn't know you worked at Natural History. As Zugmine, that's awesome. Sorry that I got torpedoed, obviously. Do I need to go back to talk to that Ricotta guy? I probably do. Excuse me. I was walking here.
Get it.
I mean, a secret tech to a good job in historic preservation might actually be doing archival work with a religious order or diocese. Volunteer paleontology lab for 7 years and worked as a human skeletal collections in the anthropology department. Fascinating. But, you know, a lot of and diocese, they have, their own history to keep track of, and artifacts even. Like, I can think in the Paulist archives we have various articles of clothing or items of prayer, lots of journals and writings, etc., of various peoples, all on file. On this planet, if you're dark side, you can order Zalbar to kill mission after you complete the part in the temple. Really? Ordering a teammate to kill someone else that they've journeyed with is a dark side decision. I am shocked. Shocked, I say. Well, not that shocked, actually. You never heard back from Arch New York? That doesn't surprise me. Revan, you're back. Our scout has told us you've rescued him. He's an elder and you make him a scout? Anyway, his injuries are severe, but we believe he will survive. We are grateful for what you have done. Okay, so will you help me now? Oh, risking our own life to save our scout seems to prove that you have changed significantly since the last time we were here. Revan, what? You have deceived us before. We must discuss this in greater detail. We must have some privacy, Revan. We will return to our deliberations are done. I think that's part of why it's the bad guy choice, Sub-Zero. They've got a very delicate walk cycle. Revan, you have rescued a member of the tribe from the One at great personal risk to yourself. We believe this action shows you have truly changed since your last visit here. The council has decided we will trust you once more. For many generations, we have sought a way to enter the temple and discover the means to destroy the Starforge. But only those who can command the Force, like you, can enter the Temple of the Ancients. We no longer have that power. That is why we helped you last time you were here. But you cannot enter the temple without our help, Revan. Only the ancient rituals of our people can lower the shield to enter. You need us as much as we need you. Looks like we're working together. For our sake, and that of the entire galaxy. We hope you truly mean to atone for your past evils. When you are ready, Revan, we will take you to the temple. But the temple is a place of sacred power. If you are to enter, you must do so alone. The ancient traditions, followed by our Rakata ancestors for the past 1,000 generations. Okay. When you were last here, you broke ancient tradition. We allowed you to and your apprentice to enter the galaxy together, and it brought untold suffering on the galaxy. Step 0, thank you for the 300 bits. Oh dear, I forgot what that means for a moment. Oh, we believe you truly have destroyed the Starforge this time. But the lesson of the past is not easily forgotten. We will not defile the sacred ritual second time. Only you may enter. Okay. I will go into the temple alone. Then it is done. You have only to let us know when you are ready to enter the temple. I want to enter the temple. The time has come for you to atone for your past crimes. But the task ahead will be difficult. Those you call Dark Jedi followers of the old apprentice now dwell in the temple. How'd they get in there? The last time you and Malik entered the temple, you must have found the controls to raise and lower the shields. Those inside can lower the barrier to allow other Force users to enter and exit the temple. But they will not be allowed to prevent us from using the ritual to gain access. Once inside, however, we can do nothing to help you. Go to the temple now. We will meet you there once the ritual has been prepared. Remember, in accordance with the ancient Rakata traditions, you must enter the temple alone. This sounds like a good place to save. That was a lot of reading. Okay. Actually, waiting to hear back from Library Science Master's Program right now. Mostly hoping to do tech on the side. That's cool. I hope that goes well for you, Brayherd. No, Jolie, let me go. Surprisingly long to get back to me about the fall 2024 semester. That's at academia for you. Yeah, it is time for atrocious candy, but first, Brayherd has redeemed a father joke. Do you know what sheep like to do in the summer? They have a barbecue. Apparently they're also from Boston. And I'll get to the candy as soon as I transition or get close on this next screen. I've got a bad feeling about this. All right, Wheel of Pain, spin, spin, spin. Brew candy, roasty stout. I did wind up splitting up the beer candy into all three. Pretty sure the dark one's supposed to be the roasty stout. Oh, the candy thing is still going as long as I have terrible candy, which unfortunately never goes away. I seem to remember this one tasting like soap. I hate when I'm right. Ugh. Oh, what up, Elder Ricotta? Okay, I'll enter solo mode then. Boom. Look at that. Solo mode. Who's the guy? Do you all have the same name? Nope. Nope, this candy still sucks. Speak with the guide. Speak with the guide. Which one's the guide? Elder guide. There we go. Am I supposed to go? There we go. It doesn't even taste like a stout. I will begin the ritual. It will take many hours, but when it is I couldn't even. My brain just like could not read the word complete. Wait, someone is coming. Oh my goodness, it's my friends.
You can't go in there alone.
Watch me. I have to do it alone. It's Ricotta tradition.
We have had a premonition. The Force has given us a vision. There is great danger within the temple. We cannot let you face it alone.
You might be walking into a trap. Maybe Malik himself is waiting inside. Even if he isn't, that temple will be crawling.
Why make me go through all of that if it's just going to be like, oh, you know, here are your teammates back anyway? No, I'm gonna follow
Maybe the
this.
fate of the entire galaxy.
They're trusting
could be
me.
forever changed inside that temple. I'm not about to let you face that alone. Not after my premonition. There's a reason I had that vision.
Jolie speaks for both of us. You must enter the temple, but we must go with you.
So you just tell that guide of yours to do whatever he has to do to get us all inside.
This is some hardcore railroading. I'm not going alone after all. Lower the shields. No, you must enter the temple alone. I will not lower the
I don't
shields.
know what he said, but it sounds like your guide's being stubborn.
My
Don't
guide
have
is being
time for
stubborn?
this.
Jolie,
Public
look
fleet
in the
is
wind.
on way
Look in the
and
mirror.
stuck on this planet until we deactivate that disruptor field. You have to convince him to get us inside that temple.
Persuade. I believe you. The elders have said you wish to destroy the Starforge and end the terrible legacy of our ancestors. If you need help with this, I will not stand in your way. I will resume the ritual now.
I get the feeling this is going to take a while. Still, we better stay ready. As soon as those shields go down, we have to get inside the temple.
The writing right here is so inconsistent. Jolie, he's an old man. He's supposed to be stubborn. He'll tell you this himself. Well, fair enough, but... Is that robot shaving him?
Preparations are nearly complete. Every day, the Starforge adds more ships to our fleet. It is operating at nearly 300% of our projections. The fleet is assembling around the Starforge and awaits your instructions.
Patience, Commander. My new apprentice is nearly ready. Once Bastila joins her battle meditation to our enormous fleet, we shall be invincible. Then we shall begin.
I see why he wears the iron jaw.
Of the core worlds, and the Republic will be crushed forever.
As you wish, Lord Malik.
Knock, knock. Oh, hello. Goodbye. I think I hit a Sith on the other side of that wall as well. Malik caught himself shaving one day. That is a furious shaving oopsie. Also, good to see you, Clutch. Hope you're doing well. Our security room. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, overload the computer. Oops. Okay. South security room. Oh, look at them. Oh, that's us. That's Rebecca. I was so proud of myself. Being like, oh, look at these. Look at those dark Jedi I'm taking care of. Oh, fortunately, there was an autosave right at the start of the temple. Yeah, that was a one brain cell move. Have you learned about overload? Well, yeah, but I was overloading other computers and taking care of Sith. It was working. And then I performed a mild oopsie. Oh, this is interesting. It's costing me one spike this time. Last time, that cost me no spikes. Yeah, it's... Oh, I failed. Oh, well. Oh, I've glitched that out. There we go. North corridor. Deactivate patrol droid. It was good just to save up all of my spikes to the very end. Oh yeah, I'll take some schematics. So I think it's the East Guard Post is the only one we haven't. Yeah, because we can't get into that one. Oh, Armory Exterior. I didn't look at that one. Let's unlock the door. No! Ah! No! I keep clicking too much. Yeah, those mooks look familiar. Eh, forget about it. I'm walking here. So, guard post, massive door, temple entrance, east guard post, prototype droid command room. There's the armory. There's the armory. So let's go out and around this way.
That is what a Jedi. That is what a Jedi can do.
Attack a deactivated droid? That's what a Jedi can do?
What a Jedi.
That's useful.
Let's see what you
Pen
got.
Clutch is redeemed to Father Joe. You know, I stayed up all last night wondering where the sun went. And then it dawned on me. Oh, these are all certainly royalty free. No kings or queens in these jokes. Really, with enemies in sight, she doesn't want to talk. I'm shocked.
Take that.
Nope. You just got in the way of my clicking. I'm gonna have so many drugs to shove in my face when I fight Malik. See, so that's the guard post. So that leads to the upper, or the next chamber, because there's a blue transition there. But I wanna go to the armory first. Because, you know, every temple has an armory. There's still some of this candy left. And it's still terrible. Wow, look at all those droid parts for the droids I don't use. I suppose I could get to the armory that way.
intrude on our meditations, you know the penalty for... Revan, you are back.
Finally, someone recognizes me. I am Revan no longer. I serve the light in the Jedi Council
Malak
now.
told us what happened to you. The Jedi Council has stripped you of your power. You are a shell of what you once were.
You are not fit to rule the Sith anymore, Revan. Darth Malak will reward us greatly for destroying you.
Okay. Seriously, that gave me light side points. Well, I was trying to do stuff with Jolie, but...
I will be your doom!
And you get a level up. And you get a level up. Everyone gets a level up. Jolie is surprisingly a very gray Jedi. Sith Power Gauntlet. Wait, this guy looks familiar.
Revan, Lord Malak told us you still lived. At last, a challenge worthy of my skills. I grow so bored with slaughtering these mindless training droids. I intensified my training tenfold in hopes I would get the chance to face you in mortal combat.
Uh-huh, but who are you?
See my training has not been in vain.
I got some bad news, my dude. It's probably been in vain.
Is what a Jedi would do.
Yeah, it's been in vain, my dude. Although he just healed up to full, which is obnoxious. I would say at least you aren't dying cheap insta-deaths anymore. But I saw what happened with the computer earlier. Shut up. Hello?
Not this again!
My character just froze and was like, I don't feel like engaging in this fight. Hey, Squirrelish! Welcome back for 9 months. That baby would have been roughly born in the time I've been subbed to you. Neat. Yes, you have a sub-baby, I suppose. What do you want to name your sub-child? What's this nerve amplifying? Oh, it's just... doesn't allow mind-affecting stuff. Okay, names are not your strong suit. Squirrel sub. Behold, the ultimate lockpicking technique. Lightsaber. Is donating to the stream technically considered tithing? Yeah, I think you can count as that. Because it's going to a religious nonprofit organization. And is aiding in the... Ooh, that's a lot of grenades. And is aiding in the mission of evangelization, so... Lightsaber, let's upgrade... Okay. What kind of crystal do I have right now? Opila. Opila gives me bonus energy 3 and critical 2d6. Okay. Bonus 1d8. Okay. What? Solari. So Solari gives me 3. I think I just want to keep this crystal set as it is. I might as well upgrade these ones. Give you an Opila and an Upari. And we'll give you... Oh, you already have a sigil. Oh, and you have the Great Dragon Pearl. You actually have a very good lightsaber. You're sure? I have a response that if you're pretty confident... Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Because all the money that is donated, it goes directly into Busted Halo and supports our mission of faith shared joyfully. Ow. Why were there bombs on this ancient pillar? Why is there a crystal in it? You know, I should just stop asking questions, I think. Oh my goodness. Squirrel, thank you so much for the 10,000 bits. All right, well, I wanted to donate to my local church fiesta thing they had going on, but I failed to do so in time, so you get the tithe instead. Oh, thank you very much, Squirrel. That is very generous of you. Oh my goodness, thank you. 10K bits. Bits badge. Big money moves. There you go. Get a nice twofer for it. Yeah, if you want to make me eat a terrible candy, you can do that now. That is a benefit of having given bits. A nice thing about when you work from home, I can just use the get up to my desk time to make bread rather than just taking a walk. Nice. Bread. Gale makes very good bread. Nice shield there. Hope it's helping. Do you want to eat a bad candy? Generally no, but you know what? For you, I'm going to celebrate with your generosity. I'm just going to go ahead and choose a Mega Sour. These are the super sour candies. They're both terrible and good at the same time. Woo! I can see through time. Oh! Pretty good Toad impression. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. It's starting to get into my Mickey voice. Toad is Mickey, but if he smoked, I guess.
Mario! I need you to go pick up another pack of Marl bombs for me.
Will the Jedi complete?
Didn't work.
Well, I guess we're not going that way. Close enough indeed. Just walk through the mines, you'll be fine. I probably will, but you know, there are other ways. Okay. You just showed me cutscene of the floor. So I'm just gonna ignore it. Oh. Oh, okay. It's one of these puzzles. I get it. Oh, it's one of those puzzles. Because this last little one just kind of activates on its own. Oh, this is so hard with the camera. So is the tithe donating to church organization? Or what is the criteria for that? Yeah, I guess that's... You know, I've never really thought about it. I mean, I think there's an element to which you should tithe regularly to your local church in order to support it. But also, you know, we can consider tithes to national and international organizations a valid form of tithing.
Yes?
So, hey, Liz loves coffee. Good to see you. The conference was good.
Yes?
What?
Yes, yes, thank you. I'm aware. The problem is it's like weirdly timed. Your CCB site vaguely summarizes as supporting the church and giving aid to those in need at home and abroad. Yeah. Though from a USA tax perspective, you give money heavily influences how much you can take as an itemized deduction. I'll take your word for it. I haven't done taxes in a hot minute. Oh, that's a reset button. That's what that is. Okay. Dear camera, you make this terrible. I don't usually like this kind of puzzle, and fighting this camera the entire time is not helping. You know who has solved this? The internet. Try not to worry about Donation on your text. It feels like if a donation is something to get back from it. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, where? This is KOTOR Temple Lore Puzzle. Oh, look at that. Oh, completed. Bottom left, center, top right. Okay. Yeah, that's the downside. Even though technically I am a non-profit, and because it does get handled through a for-profit, it probably can't be tax deductible. But welcome back, Revan. It's been some time since you last accessed my database. I was beginning to wonder if you had been terminated. I'm Karth Devon. An odd statement, though it does explain certain conflicting data about being read by my sensory input systems. I have recognized your appearance from your last visit, which is stored in my databanks. However, I'm detecting some significant changes in your composition since your last visit. Still tithe, still tithe. Whether or not it's tax deductible does not make it a tithe or not. Your neurological patterns exhibit subtle yet substantive alterations in both patterns and information processing. These changes have been noted in my database. What are you, by the way? I'm a completely self-sufficient, autonomous, interactive database constructed by record and store the entire history of the species. However, since the collapse of the Infinite Empire, there have been few events worth recording. And nobody has sought to access the information stored in my database until you came along. Due to my system's ability to monitor and repair themselves, you'll find all the data within my archives that has remained fully intact. Please choose the topic you wish to have information on. Tell me about the Starforge. A precursor AI, a standard Bioware issue, yeah. This candy has those like little pockets. It's not a perfect sphere, it's got cracks in it. And so like the citric acid powder gets into them. So, you have a sweet candy after a while. And then all of a sudden it's like, BAM! Anyway, can produce immense fleets, blah blah blah, superpower, evil, blah blah blah. In many ways, the Starforge is like a living entity. It feeds, it hungers, it draws on the energy flowing through all living things. Wait a minute, it's powered by the Force. What do you call that? Wait! I beat you to it! This ability to feed and consume the living energy of the Force is key to the Starforge's power. But ultimately, it led to the destruction of the Infinite Empire. Okay, bye. Please return if you need information in my data. I don't need data. I need to go smash evildoers. Although I have a feeling I have to talk to the computer more to get there. How can I shut off the disruptor field? The disruptor field is constructed to Starforge's primary defense against enemy attack, and can only be deactivated from the upper levels of the temple. How do I get to the upper levels? My systems control the doors to the upper levels, allowing only those who are worthy of the Rakata legacy to pass. The first time you were here, Revan, I unsealed the doors for you. However, the subtle neurological changes I detected in you earlier likely caused a failure in recognition system that would have opened the doors for you. I've updated my database to recognize the new configuration in your mind, Revan. The doors to the upper levels will open once again. Well, that sounds pretty useful. BioWare does seem to have a formula figured out for itself. $11,800 bits. Yeah, that's probably going to be a bit of a ways off. Sup, I was actually going to just leave you alone, but... I can't feel my tongue. It's really good candy. If you like sour, it is really good. Oh, hello. Excuse me, sir. Have you heard the good news of lightsaber? Oh, Bastila! With a red lightsaber. This is bad. This is bad. No, Bastila, we can save you.
Revan, I knew you'd come for me. Malak thought you might be afraid to enter the temple again. But he doesn't know you like I do. Not anymore. Not since you've changed.
Quickly, Bastila, come with us. We have to escape before Malak arrives.
Escape? You don't understand. I have sworn allegiance to Lord Malak.
No!
I am no longer a pawn of the Jedi Council.
No! No,
You
Bastila.
say that as if the dark side is some terrible entity. The Jedi Council has brainwashed you like all the others, like they once did with me. They speak of the dark side as if it is something
I mean,
to
I-
be feared, but in reality, their only goal is to manipulate those who are strong in the Force.
I guess the credits are in there for
They feel
world
the
building.
dark side is a tool to maintain control. Why do you think the Jedi forbid you and Malak from joining the Mandalorian Wars? They knew you would realize your true potential and break free of their domination. Malak has shown me how the Jedi Council have been using me the same way they once tried to use you. They've been holding me back because they knew one day I would surpass them all.
I could hear that with the... It's not too late. You can turn away from the dark side.
First, I endured the Sith torments with the passionless serenity of a true Jedi, emptying my mind. But after a week of endless tortures, I finally saw the truth. Malak forced me to acknowledge my anger and pain. He showed me the liberating power of these emotions. Then he made me see how the Jedi Council has denied me what is mine by right. The Jedi Council gladly used my battle meditation in their wars, but they still treated me like a child, like an inferior. They were jealous of my power, of what I could become. They wanted me to bow and call them master and follow their code and obey their every order. But all the while, they were exploiting my battle meditation.
I mean,
for
that's
their
a
own use.
twisted form of the narrative. Don't be lured.
Lies. You were the one living a lie, Revan. The Jedi Council made you into something you are not. They programmed you to be their slave. You used to be Revan, Master of the Sith. But no longer. You were simply a pawn of the Jedi Council and the Republic they serve. Like I was. Until Malak freed me from their shackles. A pity the power you once had is so diluted in you. You could have been as strong as I am now. Stronger even. But that will never happen now. With the power of the
No,
Star
come back
Forge,
to the
Malak
light
will
side.
destroy the Republic and conquer the galaxy. And I will be the apprentice at his side after I prove my worth by killing you.
Oh. Bastila, no. We liked you. Why'd you kill them? You liked them. They liked you.
You were stronger than I would have thought possible after what the Jedi Council did to you. Seems that Malak was wrong. The power of the dark side is not lost to you after all, Revan.
I draw my power from the light side.
You are, Revan, but you're only fooling yourself. I know the truth. I have seen the shadows inside your mind, remember? I was there when you nearly died in the trap set by the Jedi Council. I used the Force to preserve your life, Revan. We are forever linked by my actions on that bridge.
That's how I know you'll come back to the light.
Your true feelings, Revan. You're speaking as a tool of the Jedi Council, as I once did. But now I see how the Jedi used us both.
Oh no,
the
a
Council
forced
tried to
dyad.
exploit the bond between us. They hoped
It's a
I would
forced
draw
forced
out my
dyad.
memories to lead them to the Star Forge. We were slaves to their will, like all who followed the Jedi Code, but in our shared visions
No.
of the star maps. I also felt the so-called
Just because you accept rules doesn't mean you're a slave.
But now I embrace the power of the dark side.
Like, recognizing
Your
that there
dark
is
side.
a moral power beyond yourself is actually an action of freedom.
Mistakes? No, Revan.
Meep does
The
not
only
approve.
mistake you
No.
are making is the one you are making now. You deny yourself the power that is yours by right. Only now do I realize how strong you are. You deserve to be the true master of the Sith, not Malak. I see this now. Together we can destroy your old apprentice. Join with me and reclaim your lost identity.
I'm not Revan.
Your mind was too badly damaged to ever fully restore your memories, Revan. But your power, your strength of will, the essence of who and what you are, these things still remain. Once, long ago, you defied the Jedi Council, freeing yourself from their control. You claimed your rightful title of Dark Lord of the Sith. Together we can defeat Malak and take back what is yours.
The dark side only leads to
It is not
destruction.
too late for you to be saved. The teachings of the Jedi can lead you from the dark
Yeah,
side
we saved her.
back into the light.
She was on the Sith
One
path, and we were
final
like, "Hey, have you
time.
considered not?" She was like, "Oh."
Tempted you, honey. When you felt the power of the dark side, you fled to a cave like some cowering animal. You know nothing of the Force or its true potential. But you, Revan, the power of the dark side is yours to command. You can use it to destroy Malak. With my help, you could rule over the entire
You're still
galaxy.
Chad. You just have to remember how to put Nerd's head in the toilet. Well, yeah, the Jedi can be overbearing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, every Jedi is a mental slave. Bastila. Her name's Bastila. Yes, together we can rule the galaxy. No. No,
You
I
are a
surf the
pathetic
light.
Fool, Revan. Together we could have defeated Malak and ruled over an empire. But now, I will be at Lord Malak's side instead. You will be crushed.
Okay,
by
so
the
now you're
Republic
just
and
a
all the
slave to
fools
Malak.
Who bow down to the Jedi Council. No one can stand against the power of the Star Forge and the Sith fleet.
Ah, cutscene. Well, we've deviated from canon. Yep. Canon? I hardly knew him. Yeah, I believe the Sith, and I mean, because you are Revan, I guess the Sith one is the canon. I don't know. Well, this whole game's not even canon anymore, so. But the light side ending is the canon in my heart. Shut down the disruptor field. Shut down the energy. Turn it all off. Actually, how light side are we? Are almost paragon of light side now. Light side ending is official canon with the reformed Bastila. Well, it's not too late to reform Bastila. We might save her. It's not off the table yet. Force switches are now canon, though, thanks to Acolyte. Weren't Force switches in Jedi Survivor Artcast, though? Not a big Star Wars fan. I have no idea. That's fair. I enjoy a good Star War, but you know, I'm not like an obsessive fan by any means. I do have a couple lightsabers, I think is proof of my fandom, but also like I've never gotten around to watching episode 9 and I don't care. Hey Mel. Thank you kindly. Had a good trip. Whoop, wrong way. Reverend redeems everyone, has full light side ending, and has a baby with Bastila. They named the son Vaynor. It's an interesting name. I'd have gone with Karth Devin Jr. Hi, everyone. It's best to go through life thinking that no Star Wars stuff since the Disney acquisition exists. I mean, I can't entirely buy that because Star Wars Land at Disney World is pretty awesome. I mean, this isn't entirely untrue. Obi-Wan Kenobi once said it. Bastila's fallen.
Dark side. Bastila? No. No. How could that happen?
She was always
And I actually quite like Episode 8. I think Episode 8 is a fantastic subversion of so many of the tropes of Star Wars.
Headstrong. Malak preyed upon her weakness. This planet is a tainted place. The Star Forge and the Temple have twisted the Force into an instrument of evil, just as Malak has twisted Bastila into a servant of the Sith.
She can still be saved, can't she?
Malak has a strong hold on Bastila now. It will be difficult for her to break free of his influence, especially considering her long association with you.
We'll make it
Remember
work.
the bond that was forged between you when she rekindled the spark that was your life. Through that bond, she touched your memories, and also the echo of the dark taint within you.
But there's still hope for her, right? I mean, Revan rejected the dark side, so Bastila could too, right? We still might be able to save her.
We can try, and we will.
I don't know what fate awaits us, but I sense Bastila still has a role to play in the events to come. I have no doubt she will be waiting for us on the Star Forge.
No doubt. But let's go then before she has time to organize a bigger welcoming committee.
With these ship parts, you may be able to repair Ebon Hawk's hyperdrive. Yay! What in the galaxy is that hanging on his face? It's stuff. That was the most anticlimactic repair scene ever. It's a mask of sorts. It's whatever I equipped him with. I can only pick the Star Forge. How weird.
The Republic fleet must have gotten a message I sent as we were crashing into that planet. I'm picking up the transmission from them now.
This is Admiral Thorn Dodonna to the Ebon Hawk. Do you read us?
Admiral Dodonna, this is Karth Onasi. We're receiving your transmission.
Karth, I'm glad to see you're still alive. We've begun our assault on the Star Forge, but we're taking heavy losses. How did the Sith ever manage to build something of this scope?
They didn't.
The Star Forge wasn't constructed by the Sith, Admiral. We don't have time for me to fully explain it, but that space station is far older than you can imagine.
Maybe we should pull the fleet back and retreat. I don't know if we have the firepower to go up against this alien technology.
You can't do that, Admiral. The Star Forge is a factory of immense power. It's been churning out the capital ships, snub fighters, and assault droids that have powered the Sith war effort. You have to destroy the Star Forge now, or you'll be fighting an
So how is it getting this material?
Then I guess we have no choice.
Patra's final boss battle is going to be against Malak. No! How could you spoil such a thing, Brayherd?
It's like they can guess our every move and counter our every strategy.
It's because of Bastila, Admiral. She turned to the dark side and became Malak's apprentice. We suspect she's somewhere on that space station right now, using her battle meditation against you and your fleet.
We'll stop her.
This is Master Vandor. A number of Jedi Knights have joined our fleet under his command.
If Bastila is using her power to augment the Sith, then Malak's fleet is invincible. Our only hope is to somehow...
Why does Yoda be the only of his species that talks in a weird backwards way?
She's on the space station.
I will send a squadron of Jedi Knights to the Starforge to find Bastila. Their small ships will be able to fly through the Sith blockade and dock on the space station. If they can find Bastila, they may be able to distract her attention from the battle overhead. That should allow you to move...
Like, here's this dude. Master Yaddle talks normally.
Starforge itself.
I hate to ask this after all you've done, Garth, but the Jedi may need all the help they can get.
Don't worry, Admiral. The Ebon Hawk and her crew are gonna see this through to the end.
And may the Force be with you.
And with your spirit. Oh. Don't look at my desktop. It's so messy. Sure, Squirrel, absolutely. Theological questions are always welcome. Ooh, it's so pretty. It's a frequency delusion thing? Probably. But he still does it enough that it's like, huh, that's weird. Wow, look at this landing pad. It's the perfect size for us. You just say, he is among us. You don't say et cum spirito tuo? The equivalent in Portuguese?
You made it. Several Jedi have already gone ahead into the Starforge. We
Huh,
have to strike while
fascinating.
we still have the element of surprise. If we don't stop Bastila from using her battle meditation, the entire Republic fleet will be wiped out. Come on, before they...
Because in Spanish, it's y con spirito tuo.
Prepared. We'll deal with these Sith. You get into the Starforge and find Bastila. Hurry!
It's from the Catechism, Part 4, Section 2, Paragraph 2779. The expression, God the Father has never been revealed to anyone. Moses himself asked God who he was. He heard another name. The Father's name has been revealed to us in the Son, for the name Son implies the name Father. What does this even mean? Okay, so within the economy of the Trinity, which is... So whenever we're talking about the Trinity, there's the economic Trinity and the immanent Trinity. Economic is kind of like how we think of the Trinity and, like, you know, theological terms and arguments and diagrams, etc. The immanent Trinity is the Trinity active in our world. Karl Rahner famously once said the economic Trinity is the immanent Trinity, and he's right. But, so nowhere in Scripture does it explicitly have God the Father, reveal his name, like the name of God, even Yahweh, is not really necessarily like a name in like the same way Evan or Squirrel would be. So there's no part in the Old Testament for sure where he says, you know, I am the first person of the Blessed Trinity, God the Father. It's more that because of the experience we have of Jesus being like, I am the Son of God, well, and referring to God as his Father, they would kind of interpolate and extrapolate and can begin to understand the Trinity, you know? So we can say, because of the revealed nature of the Son, And the Son has shown us the way to the Father, but it doesn't mean that the Father ever explicitly said, I am the Father of the Trinity. Does that make sense? I know I kind of rambled there. But it's basically just saying that, like, the idea ultimately of the Trinity was not explicitly revealed in Scripture. It's just like a singular like there's no moment in Scripture where, you know, God says, and I am the Father, and I have this, and there is the second person of the Trinity who is the Son, and the third person of the Trinity who is the Holy Spirit, and like handed a graph to an author of sacred Scripture. But nonetheless, that is a core reality of who God is and how we understand God in the Christian world. It's just that sort of the arithmetic, if you will, of how we got there isn't necessarily, you know, it being, you know, just simply plainly stated as, you know, this is what it is, and more just like working from the knowledge of the Son, that it's like, okay, well, if there's a Son, there has to be a parent, you know, and sort of filling in the gaps and reverse engineering almost the presence of the Trinity. But that God the Father and God the Father's self has never explicitly said, I am the Father. It's yeah, that's why this paragraph is written this way, and it's true, but it's also very confusing, and it's like you read it and you're like, wait, what? Thinking of God the Father's handling Peter in Organization Chart of Heaven. Yeah, exactly. That never happened. Right. We wouldn't have. We can't have a full understanding of God the Father without the incarnation revealing himself as Son first. So basically it's just saying that we understand the Trinity because of the revelation found first and foremost in the incarnation. Are y'all just going to stand around, just going to mosey? Okay, so God never called himself Father, or if he did, not directly mention it. Right, so God the Father, because he does call him, but anyway, yeah. So, right, and it's kind of like the idea of the Trinity, while eternally true, was not made revealed to humanity until the incarnation. So, yeah. The doors are locking.
Lord Malak, a team of Jedi have penetrated our defenses. Their fighters have landed on the Starforge.
This is not unexpected.
You got it now?
The
Hey, glad I could help.
Are formidable opponents. Send the Starforge's battle droids to deal with them.
Lord Malak, forgive me, but how can mere droids be a match for the Jedi?
You underestimate the power of the Starforge's droid army.
I don't know, a couple thousand years after this, a droid army was sent after the Jedi and seemed to hold its own pretty well.
The Jedi have invaded the Starforge. Destroy them. Destroy them all.
Hello. Nerds. If I just keep disrupting them, they can't ever attack. Hey, Malik, I think your dude was right. Don't trust the... Oh! I'm stuck on everyone. Never send in a droid to do a Sith's job. Excuse me, Jolie. Without there being a son, the only way the word father makes sense is understood as a cultural context. Semi-interchangeable with Lord, Master, Husband. Yep. Ow. This is what I get for reading chats and having theological discussions with my viewers. Weird hitboxes of your team, Ken. Yeah. Sounds like something a control player would say. First of all, how dare you? Me play control? Me play blue? It's more likely than you think. Hello? Hello? Have you heard the good news about the Force? Here, let me demonstrate. I gave them a free sample and they still turned it down. Oh look, there's more Jedi over there somehow. 1v1 Old Republic Jedi versus Sanctioned Psyker. Who wins? I guess it depends on which... Like, are we just talking like a Guardsman Sanctioned Psyker? Do you still drink tea when it's hot in the summer? If so, what's my go-to tea? I do still enjoy tea in the summer, because if it's in the morning... Actually, I have my whole tea shelf over there now, which is nice. I don't mind a hot tea in the morning. So, Earl Grey's a classic black tea. And dip. Alright, you take care, Skrillet. Don't worry, your bits go to support this this endeavor. Probably gonna wind up buying me lots of silly games on Steam. Inquisitorial Psyker. I think probably Inquisitorial Psyker just because of how busted the reality of 40k is. This is like everything's more powerful. But if I want like an iced tea, I like hop tea. Especially their green tea and their chamomile one. Psyker meets Jedi and then his head explodes from exertion. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Cup tea? What's next? Byzantine? My line of Byzantine or Eastern Christian drinks. It's been revealed. Armor can't save you from Force Wave. Weast door.
Why have you disturbed me?
I have news, Lord Malak, about the Jedi.
The Jedi. Did my droids pass their test?
No, they
Did
failed.
They destroy our enemies?
No, Lord Malak. The droids could not stop them.
Strange. I did not think there were any among the Order who could survive an attack by an army of the Starforges.
Malak, you're getting destroyed by Hubris.
It was Revan, Lord Malak. Your old master is with the Jedi here on the Starforge.
Yes, that would explain why the droids failed. Revan was always strong in the Force. Very well. Send out all available troops, the apprentices as well.
Do you think they could stop Revan, Lord Malak?
Of course not. But they will slow Revan down. That will give me the time I need to fully prepare.
He literally just said, I need bodies for the meat grinder.
I'm curious to see the true extent of this space station's capabilities. One as powerful as my old master would make an interesting test subject.
That is what a Jedi can do. That is what a Jedi can do.
One sad Sith trooper. Oh wait, there's an apprentice to help him. You know what else is a really good iced tea? Yerba mate. Love me a good iced yerba mate. Oops. I may have hecked up. I have made an oops.
You made it. Come on, before they...
Okay, we're not that far back.
So much for catching them unprepared. We'll deal with these Sith. You get into the...
Okay, we're gonna go through here and activate this whole cutscene. And do this fight, and then we're gonna take a quick break. I wish there's a better way to skip cutscenes. Rather than just clicking through really quickly.
The Jedi have invaded the Starforge. Destroy them.
You
Destroy
made a homemade
them all.
brown sugar boba tea that costs less than €1. Very nice.
That is what a Jedi can do. Ha! That is what a Jedi can do.
Get some items. Alright. Let's save so that we don't have to do all that again. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break. We'll be back in about 3 minutes, so take this chance to get up, get a drink of water, stretch your legs, go to the bathroom, do what you need to do, and we'll be right back. All right, and we are back. Let's go find some Sith. Oh, you've never had boba tea, Nana Kit? Oh, we can fix that. I actually wouldn't mind the style of tea they make for boba tea, just without the boba. I'm not really a big boba fan.
For the Republic!
If your favorite boba tea doesn't even have boba, sign me up. I'm coming, Jedi, but a cutscene's gonna stop me. Taro flavored boba. Yeah, that does sound like Hawaii.
More victims for us to slaughter.
Yeah. About that. Got some bad news for you. Purple is delicious. OSHA has a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of. That's really why I'm here. I'm secretly from OSHA doing a security safety audit. I gotta tell you, the Starforge is not passing. They're gonna be paying a lot in fines. Or I might just have to shut down the whole facility. Excuse me, Johnny, please. I'm just trying to loot a Sith corpse. Yeah, if they didn't have invisible handrails, you know, that'd be a big problem. I should probably not approve a lot of evil villain layers. There's a great sketch comedy bit from Mitchell and Webb that is like a James Bond style villain talking about what he wants in his lair in the contract. Be like, yeah, all right, we can do that, but we're gonna have to put some yellow tape around it to indicate that there's an opening door. It's like, it's a secret door. I don't want there to be anything indicating. It's like, mate, if you don't put anything indicating there's a door, someone could get hurt. And it gets to the point where, like, you know, the chair is supposed to be dropped into the pit of acid or sharks or whatever, or sharks in acid. And there's, like, safety people come in with, like, traffic cones to put around the chair. Hey, Britt, good to see you. Your boss says hello. She thinks very highly of you. No, Juhani, get up. Get healed. am I supposed to use? She said you were really great, and that's so cool. Yeah, it was cool to meet her. Hey, that's awesome, Mezoak Mind. I'm glad to hear it's going to be a good experience. Where, oh, where is that? Can't I use... Show one of these. I don't know how I'm supposed to use one of those on someone who's fallen. Oh, shoot. Well, I don't have to worry about it now. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, Malak is evil. We have established this. Maybe I need more grenades. Don't get too far down there. Well, that seemed to work pretty well.
For the order!
Apparently my pastor was either also there or she talked about it. She ran into me today. I said, so I heard from your boss, met someone you're friends with some app. That makes it sound worse than it is. Aha, joke's on you, Dark Jedi. I can run away all day. Oh, there's a lot of you. Oh. No, I'm stuck on the jet. You thought it was funny and said small world, which is accurate. You know what? Maybe it's time to use the drugs and shields. Daft nabbit. Yeah, it can be tough when bosses don't always hand out praise in ways we'd like, but it's always good to hear it sort of through middle parties at least. Darth Nabbit. I'm pretty sure that's a character in the Mario and Rabbids series.
That is what the Jedi can do. That is what the Jedi can do. You will fall!
Maybe if I play the support role and just keep my team healed.
The Jedi can feel.
P-Tony's Sith name. We played one of the Rabbit games on stream way back in the day. It was interesting. Well, I'm glad your friend finds this a useful tool. Oh yeah? I can throw my lightsaber too, bud. Look at that, I leveled up. Yeah, let's up our wisdom by 1. Get more force power, why not? Well, let's follow the path where they were all coming from. Yeah, sometimes the Catholic world can be pretty small. Despite being, you know, part of a very large organized religion. No! More likely they have mutual friends if I am Catholics I meet than I don't. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be like that. Oh, something drained me of all my force power, apparently. Okay, I have lightsaber. Concern it, Jolie. Oh, hello. Where did you all come from? Well, nothing that a couple grenades can't fix. Get out of there, Karth. Karth, ice. Sometimes the sky. How was the conference? I thought it was really good. I thought it was really good content. By the way, Boss excitedly showed me your business cards today. All right. Yes, I enjoyed giving out people the fun business card. Hey, Shanavision, good to see ya. The world is small for being 1.5 billion people or so, yeah. Never been Catholic, but hang out with a lot of Catholics over the years. Yep. It be like that. Leave my Jolie alone. Well, thank you. I'm quite proud with how it turned out. I'm actually just generally proud of how my... Yep. Who passed out? Oh, Jolie passed out. Okay. I'm generally a fan of how my branding kind of turned out with my intro screen. You have a power called Destroy Droid and you haven't been using it? You know, I'm going to wait a moment and let my force come back. Because I'm looking at it. Oh, hello. Did you just spawn out of nowhere?
For the Republic!
And you know, rather than go the way of the turrets, I'm going to go the other way this time. See what that gets us. Or my allies were going to go towards the turrets. I can chuck thermal detonators at you guys all day. They got stuck on something, and I will take that. See, I thought I could use a life support pack on someone to, like, wake them up, but... I'm gonna save here, actually. So I'll make it a new save. Forge. Just in... Because I'm feeling good about having taken out all that gaggle of Jedi and whatnot. use med packs or repair packs is only in KOTOR 2. Why? Why must you be an early 2000s RPG with bizarre limitations? No, 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 do not go up. Do not pet the dog. This is what being a former Sith Lord does to your brain. Okay, that works too. Welcome back, Jolie. Oh, welcome back, Juhari. Johani? I forget what your name is. Juhani. Johari is the window of self. But wouldn't it make sense if there was like an item to, you know, raise an ally from unconscious states? Just a thought. It's like, where's Jolie? Oh, he's fighting a group of people. You are excused from class, Jolie. All right, Jolie, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. We got work to do.
What is it?
Oh, there you are.
Yes?
Elevator door. That sounds like a good place to save. Burb. Ooh. It's Bastila.
Master, why have you summoned me? Without my battle meditation, there is a chance the Republic capital ships could break through and attack the Starforge itself.
This will not take long, Bastila. You will be able to resume your battle meditation soon enough. I only wanted you to know that Revan is here on the Starforge.
Revan?
The forces
Yeah, you didn't kill him.
confrontation with my old master. The Starforge has drawn our enemies together, so they may all die in a single glorious day. You must kill Revan to prove yourself worthy of being my apprentice, Bastila. You must finish.
But remember,
what
you're not a
began
slave.
at
He's
your
not manipulating or
temple.
gaslighting you at all.
I sense your fear, Bastila, but it is unfounded. The power of the Starforge will feed the dark side within you. It will give you the strength you need to defeat my old master. Stay here in the command center while you use your battle meditation against the Republic fleet. Revan will find you here in due time. It is inevitable.
Of course, Master. I will not fail you again.
Perhaps you will triumph, Bastila. But even if you fail, it will give me the time I need.
Wow, it's like
to
Malik's
complete
the
my
bad guy.
preparations of the station's defenses. And then we shall see if Revan can stand against the full fury of the Starforge.
Just gonna save again just because cutscene. Oh, these guys aren't attacking me. Okay, never mind. They just took a moment to recognize I was here. Excuse me, I did not say you could heal. Ew. Oh, that hurts to look at. Good job, team. I love it how it makes it look like everyone just kind of like slipped on a bunch of banana peels. Excuse me, quit stun locking us. There's so many of them.
Is what a Jedi can do. That is what a Jedi can do.
Dude, that's what a Jedi could do? Hey, Happy Cynic, good to see ya. Starforge. Starforge.
Never too old for this.
Currently trying to make our way to the control centers who can fight Bastila, who's turned evil. Rip. And I have no idea which way I'm going, so I'm just kind of wandering until I find stuff. But considering the previous level, we're kind of doing the reverse thing. So I guess we're headed back towards the center? Which I guess is what we're trying to do? Oh, hey. Hey, look, I found a thing happening. Ow, he did the thing to me. That was rude. How am I supposed to do this? How did your character handle the revelation? Pretty well. We've been doing a fairly light side run. So he's basically kind of like, no, I have been purified by the light side of the Force.
What is it?
How about you heal yourself?
Yes?
But considering our character is named Carth Devin, I think he handled the change pretty well. I think it happened. He went, oh, yeah, actually, you know? Bastila, it's not too late for you to turn to the light side, I promise. We won't hold it against you.
Revan, I knew you'd come for me.
I'm Carth Devin. Revan is no more. Nah, I know you can still
You're
be saved.
wasting your time. I've seen the Jedi for what they are, weak and afraid. The Sith are the true masters of the Force. You've forgotten that lesson, Revan. Now you must pay the price. Here on the Starforge, the power of the dark side is at its strongest. This time, you will not defeat me.
A 1v1 fight. I named my character Revan. The Shade Corvan's somewhat confusing. That's fair.
There, take that.
Let's see, where are all the drugs? I built my character's support. Implying Sith are the true masters. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
There. I see now why Malak followed you. Even though you're only a shell of your former self, you're still a formidable
Useless
foe.
force state.
I can't even
Uses force
imagine
stasis
how
inside
you
power.
wielded when you were the Dark Lord. You were a fool to give it all up and follow the light side.
I'm as strong in the light as I ever was. You're being consumed by the dark. Can't you see it's
The dark
destroying you?
side has made me stronger than I ever was before.
No, it hasn't.
I have a greater command of the Force than all but the most powerful Jedi Masters. As Malak teaches me the greatest secrets of the Sith, I will unlock more of my potential.
You're buying into
Eventually,
Gnosticism.
there'll be no limit to what I can accomplish with the Force.
You will accomplish. Malak will never let you. He'll kill you
Have
first.
forgotten the ways of the Sith already, Revan? Eventually, I will challenge my master. If I am worthy, he will die by my hand, and I.
And what if you're not?
The new Sith master. Then I will take on my own apprentice, and the cycle will begin again. This is the way of the Sith. It is how we assure our leaders are always the strongest and most worthy.
This seems like a bad idea. You're dooming yourself.
No, Revan, it is you who are doomed.
Oh, you get to heal? That's unfair.
You're growing weary.
Ah.
I can sense it. Your strength falters. The
No.
light side is failing you while the power of the Starforge re-energizes me. Soon this will
Bad
all
idea.
be
Sign me
over.
up. No, bad Gale. I feel like this is a trap. I gotta try it though.
What type of trick is this?
A Jedi will never strike down a defenseless
I
opponent.
am a Sith apprentice now. You place too much
This
faith
is a
in
trap
what I
built
used to
for
be,
me.
and for that you shall pay. There, take that.
I have so many healing things. Heals 30 plus wisdom. 20. Let's use one of those. There we go. That healed me up pretty well. Strike me down. I won't defend myself. Instantly defends self.
This is not possible.
Well, that's one way to defeat
You've
her.
rejected the dark side. You are a weak and pathetic servant of the light. How can you still stand against me? Why can't I defeat you?
You see now, the dark side is not stronger than the light.
I see you speak the truth. I am no match for you. Please, for the sake of what we once shared, do not make me suffer. End my life quickly. There is no other way.
I could never kill you, Bastila.
What other choice do you have? I have fallen to the dark side. I am the apprentice.
I
to
was the Dark
Lord himself.
Master.
You cannot let me live.
I was redeemed.
You're
You
a
can
special
too.
Case. The council had no other choice.
Oh my
They needed
goodness.
you alive so they could discover the location
What about you,
of the
honey?
Starforge. It was an act of desperation. It was my responsibility to watch over you, to make sure you did not slip back into your evil ways. I was supposed to protect you from the dark side.
You did more than protect me,
It's true
Bastila.
I possess feelings for you. Was it only an illusion brought about by our bond? And what was the cost?
That's not what I meant.
This is too painful. End it now, quickly. There is no other way.
Look into your heart, Bastila, and you will find the light.
There is nothing in my heart but the black. I ask you for an honorable
No.
death, but you are too weak to even grant me that. No more words. This must end with blood.
Atone for what you have done.
I could join you in your battle against the Dark Lord. That alone would not make up for all I have done. Yet it would be a step in the right direction. But how would you be able to trust me? How do you know I wouldn't turn on you when you faced Darth Malak? How do you know the dark side wouldn't make me betray you again?
I trust you to leave myself open to your attack.
A dangerous game. Are you certain you wish to take this risk? I could end your life and gain Malak's favor with a single stroke of my lightsaber.
I know what the game means here by saying I love you because it's trying to create a romantic plot, but I think it's valid to still say that I love you in a platonic and caring way.
You were brave, and some would say foolish. But you were also right. The dark side has not wholly consumed me. I cannot raise my blade against you. You will go on to defeat Malak. Of this I have little doubt.
Why don't you do your
will
battle
ultimately be
meditation
the Sith Lord himself
for
and
the
savior of our
Republic right
galaxy.
now?
And you said you loved me. This may not be the best time to say it, but I love you too, with all my heart.
You aren't afraid to love anymore?
No. Nothing could make me feel safer than to be loved by you. You should go. Malak awaits. This isn't over yet.
The power of love is winning?
I should stay here, though. If we face Malak, I am afraid his dark presence will overwhelm me. It would not be wise to expose myself to such temptation.
Use your battle meditation?
Yes, that would be for the best. You don't need me to defeat Malak anyway. Now I understand that a true Jedi is a match for any Sith, even the Dark Lord himself. I will stay here in this chamber and use my battle meditation to aid the Republic fleet. I am their only hope of destroying the Star Forge and ending the Sith menace. You must go and face Malak, but you have to hurry. Once I turn the battle in the Republic's
It's all
favor,
good,
we
Brit.
won't
It's
have
good to
much
see you.
time
Hope
to
you have a
escape
great
the
rest of your
Star
day.
Forge before it's destroyed. Good luck, my love, and may the Force be with you.
And with your spirit. We have turned the tide! Oh, hey, it's been a while since we've seen the bridge of this
We're
ship.
breaking the Sith formations. Green Squadron, move in.
Green Squadron moving in.
Oh, it's thinking about it. It thought about it.
Green Squadron's through. We've broken their lines. Bastila is no longer using her battle meditation against us. The tide has turned.
No, in fact, she's using it for you.
Red Squadron, into the breach.
So the Sith capital ships look like whale skulls to me.
The Sith fleet is in disarray. Now is our chance. Get back to Star Forge with everything we've got.
Aren't there Jedi still aboard it, sir? Are we back towards a canon ending, Step Zero, since we've redeemed Bastila? Don't worry about the Jedi aboard plot armor, we'll save them. Well, that's fair. Is Malik behind this door? Type B spike bin. Terminal type B. Generator inactive. Okay. This feels unfinished. Alec.
I tire of this game, Revan. You have been a thorn in my side from the moment I seized the mantle of Dark Lord from your feeble grasp. You made a mistake coming here, Revan. The Starforge fuels my command of the dark side. You are no match for me here.
Yeah, that's what Bastila said,
This
weirdly
time,
enough.
You will not escape.
It's you who can't escape, Malik. Surrender and the Jedi might show you mercy.
Is that what you call it? You think stripping away your power and your identity was an act of mercy, Revan? I would rather die.
I can save you from the darkness, Malik. You can be too, if you wish.
Spoken like a true slave of the Jedi Code. Save your preaching, Revan. I will have none of it. You are an insignificant speck beneath my notice. I have surpassed you in every way and accomplished what you never could. I have unleashed the full potential of this Rakatan factory. You had no idea of the power within this place. Its very walls are alive with dark side energies. And now, my old master, I will let the Starforge itself destroy you.
I emphasize your name is Revan? Really? This is how you try and take me out? Yeah, overload to help me. Look, a distraction. I'm just going to shut off these last few. Oh no, they destroyed the wrong droid. I've got to disable this. I hope the ones that... Okay, good. The ones that I reprogrammed... I don't know what's going on here. I'm just gonna walk away. The door is opened. And now, 5 more rooms of random droids. Are you serious? Is that just all this is? Okay, no, good. Darth Malak, what's with the weird people in the lightning pods?
Well done, Revan. I was certain the defenses of the Starforge would destroy you. But I see there is more
Nope,
of your own
you were
self
wrong.
in you than I expected. You are stronger than I thought. Stronger than you ever were during your reign as the Dark Lord.
Yep.
I did not think
The
that
power
was
of the light side, my dude. Light side is stronger than you know.
I am tempted to try and capture you alive, Revan. Then I could
Tall, dark,
break
and
your
jealous.
will
Please
and
stop
bind you
talking.
to me as my apprentice, as I did Bastila. You would be a far greater asset to me than even Bastila and her battle meditation, if I could control you. But is it worth the risk? Perhaps you are too powerful to be my apprentice. I betrayed you when I realized my own strength was greater than yours. In time, you might try to do the same to me.
That's the ASL for talk, by the way. I'll never serve Darkseid again.
Words. The darkness and the light wage a constant war within you. The balance is tipped one way now, but it can easily be tipped back. Savior,
Nah, I'm in
conqueror,
Paragon
hero,
mode.
Villain, you are all things, Revan, and yet you are nothing. In the end, you belong to neither the light nor the darkness. You will forever stand alone.
I believe in the power of redemption, which I
What else
do, actually. That's kind of a thing.
Fate and destiny have conspired to keep you alive despite my best efforts. They have thrust you into the role of savior.
I didn't say I was the savior, I just said I believe in redemption. These are different things.
Revan. I see now that this can only be settled when one of us destroys the other. Once again, we shall face each other in single combat, and the victor will decide the fate of the galaxy.
Okay, well, let me take some drugs. As Father Ted Crilley once said, Douglas, there are more priests that have a strong belief in the afterlife. Oh, Father Ted. Father Dougal. Malak, I am so hopped up on battle meds, you have no idea what you're in for. Apparently neither do I. Okay.
You continue to amaze me, Revan. If only you had been the one to uncover the true power of the Starforge, you might have become truly invincible. But you were a fool. All you saw was an enormous factory. All you ever imagined was an infinite fleet
Good to know.
rolling forth to crush the Republic. You are blind, Revan. Blind and stupid.
Hey, there's no need to call names like this. What are you talking about?
The Starforge is more than just a space station. In some ways, it is like a living creature. It hungers, and it can feed on the dark side that is within all of us. Look around you, Revan. See the bodies? You should
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
recognize them from the Academy. These are Jedi who fell when I attacked Dantooine. for all intents and purposes, dead.
No. No one's claimed Rotida.
I have not let them become one with the Force. Instead, I have brought them here. The Starforge corrupts what remains of their power and transfers the Dark Tail
Rotida
to me.
So today is the Feast of the Nativity of John the Baptist, so this is your friendly warning that it's now 6 months to Christmas.
You cannot beat me, Revan.
So,
Not
you know,
here
start
on
that
the
shopping now.
Starforge. Not when I can draw upon the power of all these Jedi. And once you are beaten, I will do
But
the
just
same
generally,
to
I
you.
reflected on the way
You will be
he is
trapped
the
in a
forerunner
terrible existence
in all
between
things, and
life
that's reflected even
and
liturgically with
death.
his own
Your
nativity,
power fades me
celebration
as
of
I
his
conquer the
passion.
galaxy.
And the way that we are called to be forerunners as well. Hey, you made all my drugs wear off. Heard someone say that John the Baptist's mother once snuck up on by a friend of hers, taken by surprise, an exclamation, "Holy Mother of God!" came about. Well, that's one explanation for it. Yeah, I see where this is going. Glad I put all those points into this treat injury. You're gonna AoE or saber throw the trapped Jedi to kill them before Malak drains them. Oh, well that's good to know. Because it was blue, I didn't think I could target them. Oh, there we go. The Force power did not affect the Jedi captive. That did. No, Malak. That's okay. Let's use an advanced one here. I like Malik just following me around this control room, watching this head, be like, oh, no. Stop. Whoop. Use that, and I'm going to save here. Guess I'm going to save Scum this fight. So, I guess these two having already been used, I can't target. Yeah, it looks like they're not targeted. Targetable. Or if you have the appropriate dark side power, you can drain them yourself. But I'm not evil. I'm Darth Kevin. Garth Devin. Knight of the light side. Whoa. 2 hit points. That is kind of close. Well, that's one way to defeat a Sith Lord.
Impossible. I cannot be beaten. I am the Dark Lord of the Sith.
Not anymore, nerd. This is the way of the dark side, Malik. All things end in death.
Still spouting the wisdom of the Jedi, I see. Maybe there is more truth in their code than I ever believed. I cannot help but wonder, Revan, what would have happened had our positions been reversed? What if fate had decreed I would be captured by the Jedi? Could I return?
I don't think there's hiding a jawless person as a light side user. I'm just saying.
You had not led me down the dark path in the first place. What destiny would I have found?
I'm sorry for what I started, but you chose to continue.
I suppose you speak the truth. I alone must accept responsibility for my fate. I wanted to be master of the Sith and ruler of the galaxy, but that destiny was not mine, Revan.
Get wrecked, Malik.
Perhaps, but never mine. And in the end, as the darkness takes me, I am nothing.
I like the tooltip there. Swoop racing is a very popular.
There you are. What happened?
There's no way to turn him to the light side. I had to kill him. Darth Malik is dead.
Wonderful news. There's no time
Way to go,
celebrate
Garth
just yet.
Devin.
I was able to use my battle meditation to allow the Republic to break through the Sith fleet. The capital ships are in bombardment range.
And that means we all have to get out of here right now before this entire complex comes down around our ears. Everyone else is already on the ship. Let's move.
Pew pew. Centuries of untold alien technology now gone forever.
Admiral Dodonna, we've hit their main orbital stabilizers.
Everyone pull back. I don't want to lose any ships when that space station goes down.
Did we just doom all the
We did it,
Rakata?
Vandar. The Sith are routed and the Starforge destroyed.
But at what cost, Admiral? Where is the Ebon Hawk and her crew?
The game really just wants you to see my desktop, apparently. Yay! We did it!
Karth, you made it.
We couldn't let you start the victory party without us, Admiral.
I'm sending an honor guard to escort you in. You'll be getting a hero's welcome when we all get home.
I wonder what the dark side ending was like at that point, because I assume the Starforge still gets destroyed.
You have defeated Malak, destroyed the Starforge, and broken the spirit of the Sith. For this, I am proud to present you each with the Cross of Glory, the highest honor the Republic can bestow. From Coruscant to the farthest reaches of the Outer Rims, you will be known as the saviors of the Republic.
Yay!
On behalf of the Jedi Council, defenders of the galaxy, and sworn protectors of the Republic, I too would like to honor you for your actions. We Jedi now have another tale to weave into the grand history of our eternal order. The redemption of Revan, the prodigal knight. Wherever you go, you will be recognized as the saviors of the galaxy, the heroes of our age. But you must remain ever vigilant, for one day you may be called upon yet again to defend the glory of the Republic against the tyranny of the dark side. For this is the destiny of the Jedi.
I am a paragon. Doo-doo-doo-doo. This VOD is now muted. I respect you, John Williams, but yeah, I get it. Well, this part is. Yeah. Thank goodness YouTube's a little less persnickety on that. But yeah, so that was KOTOR. I like that ending. I like that we got to save Bastila and redeem her. The story as a whole is good, and I like the it's a very classic Star Wars story, but I think for this being one of the first games to really integrate a moral choice system, I think it did it well. It certainly is flawed in some ways. You know, there were sometimes the choices where it's like, well, this is nuanced, and I think I'm making the right choice. And it's like, oh, actually, I made the dark side choice. Oh, that was interesting. And then there are parts where it's like the light side choice is, I will sacrifice myself, or I will kill you all. And it's like, nice nuance there. But, you know, I mean, it gave us a very solid foundation to build off of. A little rough around the edges, gameplay-wise. But, you know, early 2000s, it was new and experimental, I suppose. But I enjoyed that. That Knights of the Republic, I think, tells a good story and has some good space. Oh yeah, could be done better, but my Sith voice is great. Well, thank you. But yeah, and I think it does a lot. It learned a lot for KOTOR 2, honestly. Like having played that already myself, it learns well from like the quality of life stuff. But I think the story of KOTOR 1 is better than the story of KOTOR 2, in my opinion. I realize I am actually kind of in a minority of that on that opinion, but that's okay. But I think this does some good job of engaging some questions around morality of both choices. It does raise some weird questions where it's like, oh, I'm making all these choices, but looting a body, that's okay. There is no repercussion there. That's totally fine. So, you know, it did what it could. And I appreciate the depth with side quests. You know, I know we didn't do a ton of them, but they're there and provide good opportunity. KOTOR 2 is a very Chris Avellone story. Okay. I don't really know much about Chris Avellone to know, but yeah, so that was Knights of the Old Republic. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was my first ever playthrough of it. And yeah, I would totally go back to that at some point. Kind of want to mess around with some stuff and some choices, but I think we did well ending up as a paragon of the light side and trying to save even Malak in the end, you know? So I think it tells a very classic Star Wars story, and it does it well. So, and that's a great way to wrap up for today. So thank you so much for everyone for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be back with y'all. Tomorrow we're going to be doing more Symphony of the Night for Retro Tuesday. And Thursday, more Spiritfarer at the 2 p.m. time. I also owe y'all a bonus stream, but that probably won't happen until later in July just because of my schedule. So keep your eyes out for that. And then not next week, not the week after that, but the one after that, so 3 weeks. New schedule is coming, hopefully. Still need to talk about with my coworkers a little bit, just make sure it should be fine. But you know, you always want to talk it out. But that will be introducing Minecraft, midweek Minecraft on Wednesdays. What is the gratuitous educational content redeem? It's that. That came from Pajama Sam, where at one point the character just kind of went off on this rant, and that showed up at the bottom. And being the person I am, I kind of go off on that similar educational rants, and so it just made sense to have that as a redeem. So that is in there. There's also the emote GEC that is in reference to that. Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying. Anyway, so once I add midweek Minecraft, I also intend to finally switch Tuesday and Thursday so that Thursday can be Throwback Thursday. And I think ending the week of streaming on retro content will actually be a bit more chill for me, and allow me to be more energized and focused on Tuesdays when I do spirituality stuff. So it's going to be Spirituality Tuesday starting sometime in July. So keep your eyes out for those updates. And then for RPG Mondays, since we've finished a game, it's time to go back to Kingdom Hearts. Every other RPG game I play is going to be Kingdom Hearts for a while. We use GC when he's trying to teach us something. Yes, only when I'm trying and never when I'm succeeding. Anyway, we're actually going to be playing a game I have been very excited about to play in the Kingdom Hearts series. Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, or the easily solvable fraction. Because we've been playing the games chronologically, because we played 1, we played Rechain of Memories. Now we get to play 358, which is happening parallel to Chain of Memories. And I think it has a very interesting story and an amazing end. So I have been looking forward to doing that on stream since I honestly got started. So I am excited to be bringing that to y'all. And yeah, I think that's it. So thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, rated, all that good jazz. Thank you so much to everyone. Check out the Discord down below. Check out the YouTube for VODs. And other than that, why don't we see who's live to raid? I'm going to send y'all over to Late to the Game. He's a cool Catholic streamer. Good guy. So. He's playing Control, which is a kind of Portal-esque physics-based puzzle platformer with a lot of mystery and intrigue. So it's good stuff. So anyway, I'm going to send y'all over there. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless.